Hi there, thank you for joining me again. My name's Kate and today we're going to do a half an hour Pilates session focusing on full body movements, and what I've called it is a 1, 2, 3 progressions. So we've got 8 exercises and each exercise we will have 3 different levels. So you can choose whether to follow a beginner's, intermediate or advanced level. Now it's good to progress through all 3 levels so that you get a nice warm up and you feel the build up into making it harder. But if you feel like the third one is too hard, then you stick with the first or the second one. So let's warm up first in a nice hands and knees position. A few cat-cows here just to warm up the spine. Exhaling as you curl. Inhale as you rise, let the belly sink. And curl under. Get a nice stretch across the shoulder blades as you curl. And one more. Back into our neutral and into a nice thread the needle. So you take your back hand and you thread it under and through that gap, coming right down onto your shoulder. Rest your head and then take it out again, following it round with your eyes and up to the ceiling on the other side. Same on the other side. Thread it through and then rise up and out with a nice stretch around the other side. Good. Okay, into our first exercise, working into our Supermans. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, slot those shoulders back and take the weight over to one knee as you start to lift the opposite side and extend the leg away, keeping it in line with your hip, trying to avoid any overextension and arching of the back. So keep it in line with your shoulder and hip, keeping the shoulders nice and steady. Inhale, bring it back in, and exhale, switch the legs. Drawing the belly button in gently, slotting the shoulders down, keeping nice and steady. Switch over. So just alternate with the breath. Inhale together, exhale away. Imagine you've got a nice glass of water on your back. You're not letting it tip. So everything that we're doing is moving with nice control, intention, focusing on stability around the spine, the shoulders and the pelvis. And then we're going to start adding an arm. So extend the leg and start peeling up the opposite hand, getting your balance first, and then extend that one away above your head. Inhale together again. Exhale, opposite leg, peeling up the hand and then pointing and stretching it away, and switch again. Just hone in on any tensions. Are you gripping with your fingers, your wrist? Can we slot those shoulders away from our ears? Use the glutes to lift the hip and point your toes away so it's not all your hamstrings. And one more each side. A nice classic Pilates exercise, really focusing on stability in the spine. And last one. And down. Give the shoulders a nice little roll. And then the third progression here is coming back into that opposite arm and leg. But this time you're taking the arm and leg on a diagonal. So as if it's, say, 10 past 8. Bringing it back to 6 o'clock. And back down again. Same with the other side. Extend away. Take it out. So we're going 10 to 4. And back again. So just challenging on a different plane. You should feel that working harder into your obliques. Drawing that tummy button in. Using the core as a really good stability point. So in the spine, nothing is moving, and back again. So just taking those arms and legs away from the body as far as you're comfortable and controlled. One more each side. And back again. Good. Release the shoulders for some nice big rolls. Exercise 2 into our knee plank. Taking the hands further forward, drawing the hips in until they're in line with your knees and your shoulders. Drop those shoulders back. Inhale off. Exhale, bring it in. So again, lengthening through the abdominals, keeping nice tension on, working into that shoulder stability. Squeeze shoulder blades a little bit more, but without overarching into the ribs. Feel a nice pull, a stretch, as well as tension into the abdominals. And if you feel like that's challenging you enough, then stick with this level 1. Level 2, you're going to turn the toes under. And you're going to extend a knee, so the toes stick down, but you're just extending a knee, and switch, and then release off. Bring it in, extend, inhale together, exhale, lift, and then release off. 3 more here, bring it in, lift, drop, lift, drop, and release. Use the breath, blowing out as you strain, feel that tension, and let go. So the out breath is to avoid pushing, bearing down, breath holding, and release. Okay, the third progression here, you're coming back into that knee plank. This time you're lifting a leg and then crossing it over and back, knees together. Release off if you need, if not, straight into the other side. Lift, tap it across the other foot and back again. Exhale, come forward, lift, exhale as you go over and bring it back again. So a little twist in the spine is expected, opening up through one side, but try and avoid any dipping through the hips. So working hard through the glutes, nice tension into the belly, and release. 2 more here, nice and strong. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears, tap across, other side, and release. Last one, lift, tap, and the other side, lift, tap, and again back into your shell pose, child's pose for a nice release. Okay, level 1 on the next one is coming from your knee plank into a full plank. Slot those shoulders down. You're lifting both knees. Exhale, bring the belly button in. Inhale down. Exhale, pull up. And release. Go with your breath rate. Take it slow. Nice and strong through the wrist and the shoulders. Extending the knees, locking the knees out so that you're really getting your glutes working. 4 more. And last one. Straight into exercise 2. So you're lifting into your plank. You're going to rotate all the way around with one leg, up into a nice lunge, drop down. Nice and strong back into your plank, and then repeating on the other side. Exhale. So use that as a little break and a nice little release. Push and stretch into hip flexors. Nice and strong, plank back together. Down if you need. Up into your lunge again. So nice big step forward and back again. And together. And down. 2 more here. Lift, lunge, together, lunge, together, release. Okay, keep those shoulders down. They're starting to burn a little bit. Last set. Lift, lunge, together, and lunge. And together, and down. Give your wrists a nice circle. Do come up onto your fists or your fingers if you feel that too much. Third progression. Plank, lunge, drop the back knee and rise up. So we're using that nice balance. Sink down and rotate through the top. Same on the other side. Plank, lunge, drop down, rise up and rotate. Keep going. Plank, lunge, lift, sink, rotate towards that front knee. Nice and strong backwards. Keep your bottom nice and high. Lunge and lower. Rise up and rotate. Nice out breath as you move. Always with control, always with intention. So the body knows where it's going next. Planking together. Lunge forward. And rising up. One more each side. Together. Lunge. Rise and rotate. Last side. And lift. And last time into your child's pose. Drop your knees, take them nice and wide and stretch forward. Okay, well done. Taking it out of child's pose and coming round into a side plank. So let's prop up onto the elbow, underneath the shoulder, slot it down, lift up through the chest and out through the waist, lengthen that top leg. Keep your toes pointing towards you, really keep this nice straight line and lifting this hip so that we're not sinking. Okay, level 1, just lifting the leg up and down, really targeting this top glute. Keep the upper body nice and relaxed. Let's go for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, if you find that hard enough or you're getting any pelvic pain, stick with that level. Level 2, you're going to push up through the leg, engage through those obliques, and rise up just a few inches up off the mat. Keep the shoulders down, strong through the supported shoulder. Same taps, lift and drop. Use the breath. Exhale, inhale down. And again, 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Release down. Level 3, we're going to extend over the top with the arm, rising nice and high. Lift the leg and crunch it in, elbow to knee. Keep the waist lifted, keep the chest nice and open. 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Nice and strong through the sides and release back down. Well done. Come over back again onto hands and knees for our hover progressions. Hands underneath shoulders, release the tension in the shoulders, tuck the toes under, lift up into your hover, inhale down, blowing as you go, draw belly button in, rise up. So you're getting that activation through the tummy with the breath before you move. Don't forget pelvic floor, bring it with you. Keep the back nice and stable. Again, I love this hover pose, bringing us into a nice static hold, but progressing into your planks. Level 2, you're going to push up into a downward dog. Bring the heels down to the mat as much as your calves allow. Head between your arms and release back into your hover. You can drop to the mat if you wish. Lift up again, blow out. A nice stretch and slow and controlled back down. Again, slow, controlled, intentional, using that breath. Get a nice stretch here, but doing a downward dog does have a lot of pressure into your abdominals, so make sure you tighten, blow. Exhaling to hold, a little inhale, and then exhaling to push back up, pressing the heels down, push with your arms. Last one. Slot those shoulders down and rise up. Into level 3, we're going to do a leg thread the needle. So you start to soften the knees, taking the opposite hand and leg, lifting as you twizzle round and extend through. Strong through hands and legs, hover, downward dog, soften the knees, lifting the opposite hand and leg, and then bringing that leg through. Together, hover, downward dog. Soften, twist, and stretch. Nice open chest, strong through that supported arm. Hover, rise up, pivot onto that foot, and then opposite, lift and stretch. One more each side. Push up. Stay here as long as you wish. And then when you're ready, full body, strong, nicely through those intrinsic muscles. Last one here. And again, back down into your child's pose for a wee stretch. Good. You'll feel it into your shoulders. Let's turn around and work into our opposite side plank. Setting yourself up nicely first, lifting through the waist, extend the top leg. Little pulses when you're ready. Lifting as high as you're comfortable, maintaining this gap underneath your waist. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lifting the waist, push through that bottom leg, pushing this hip forward. Again, lifting through the leg. Use the breath. Try to avoid breath holding and bearing down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Last one. Bring that elbow in, arm over the top, lifting high. Lifting the leg, crunching in, and stretch out. 4 more. 2 more, and 1, and release back down. Take your time, rolling over onto your back. Giving your back a nice hug if need, and then we'll work into our bridges. So, little tilts here, and then we start to squash and then start to lift our tailbone a little bit more, bringing and rising nicely up so that knees and hips and shoulders are in a nice alignment. Press the palms down, lift that little bit higher, opening through the chest. Chest first, put it down, and then mid-back, lower back, and release. Exhale, squash again, lift up, peel nice and high, stretch fingers away from your shoulders, and back down again. Press through your heels and your ball of your foot, using the glutes to rise, and release. 1 more here, lifting high, squeeze and lift pelvic floor with you, but remember to put it down and release and open as you let go. On the next one, we're rising up, taking the arms with us into level 2, taking away that base of support and bringing it back down. Control it, sink the hips rising and the arms. Equal weight through feet. Everything is lovely and controlled. Exhale, lift up. Hold for an inhale. And back down again. Letting it release. Don't overarch the spine. That's when you're going to get too much strain through the lower back and not enough glute work. So last one here, squeeze and rise high. And gently drop down again. Now we're going to leave the palms here this time. Lift up into your bridge. We're going to march the feet. Keep the palms down for a little bit of support. Lifting one leg. Lifting the opposite. And roll back down. Exhale, rise up. Lift one leg. Lift the other. And back down again. Now if you feel stable enough and strong enough, stay up. See how many marches you can do without letting the hips dip from side to side. Nice and strong. Press through the foot. Really activating these glute max as well as side glute. And lift, drop, lift, drop. Same again. And back down. Control that spinal roll. Last one here. Add another 2. And down again. Good, let's go straight into our next exercise. Lifting single leg up to the ceiling for a nice little hamstring pull. I'm going to start circling it here, nice and gentle. Hip mobility, control around the pelvis, keeping that other leg nice and steady. Change direction. Just keep a nice breath rate going, and you should feel your core turning on just that 30–40%. And you can stay with your hip circles if you're happy. Extending that down towards the ground for level 2. Hover and hold. Exhale, bring it back up. Little circle. And drop it down again to the mat. Feel how the tension has to increase in your core. Change direction of the circle. Just 1, 2, 3, and then lower it down.
hold, nice and strong, and back up again. Keeping that opposite leg nice and steady, a little circle, and drop it down, lengthening, but keeping that tension on, and back up. And the other side, and down. And you might feel your back wanting to start to give as you extend the leg, so trying to press it down and only take it to where you're happy and in control. Last one. Opposite direction and lower it down. Thighs starting to burn there. Level 3, lift the head. Look at your toes, squash the back a little bit more. Feel those upper abdominals kicking in up to the ceiling. Circle it nice and big this time. Down towards the mat. Lift the head. Hold. And back up again. Big circles, opposite direction. Nice hip mobility, working into quads, hamstrings, and lower it down. Lift your head. Good, we'll do one more here. 2, 3, 4, lower it down. Exhale as you go. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Lift the upper body and release back down. Good, other side. Stretching into hamstrings. Just bend the knee if that's too much for the hamstrings. And start with your little mini circles first. Okay, honing in. Our opposite leg nice and still. Pelvis nice and steady. Little bit of tension into the abdominals. Switch direction. Okay, working on that control. Keep the collarbones nice and open. And then we start to drop it down. Does that feel any different to the other side? Bringing it up. Little circle. Switch direction. Keep the tension on as you lower the heel down to the mat. And back up again. Little circle. Control that pelvis. You start to fatigue, you start to wobble. Other side. And down. Blow. Feel that tension. Engage under the ribs a little bit more. And back up. And switch direction. 3, 2, 1. Straighten it. Slow and controlled. And back up. Okay, last one here. Making it a little bit bigger. Lower it down, lift the head. Squash the back just a little bit more. And back up. Bigger circles. Let's loosen up the hip. And then drop it down, lift the head. Tightening, controlling the hip flexor. Getting a nice strain. Comfortable strain through the abs. Big circles, always switching the direction. And again, down, lift, hold, breathe. Back up. 2 more here. Nice big circles. Control that leg. And down. Good. Thighs starting to burn slightly. Good, last one, and down and lift. Good, back up for a little hug. And last exercise, moving into our dead bugs. So we're going to stay into a tabletop position here, making sure that your back is not overarching. If it is, bring your knees slightly closer and consciously push back down, okay? Ideally, knees above hips. Hip width apart. Palms by your sides, shoulder blades flat. Extend one leg, but we're keeping it in line with the opposite heel. So quite high. Feel that tension come on. Inhale together. Exhale, other leg. Again, just slowing it down a little bit. Thinking about that control. Go with the breath rate. Little hone in on pelvic floor, squeezing as you're adding that extra tension. Releasing as you come back. Switching on, switching off, switching on, switching off. So you want to take this exercise to the point where you're feeling it fatigue with a slight quiver, adding the arms, hands up to ceiling, opposite arm, stretching overhead. So we're getting the upper body involved, keeping the ribs down, opposite stretch, inhale together. Keeping the back nice and steady, that neutral spine. So dead bug, one of my favorite exercises. We're lengthening, but keeping a nice tension through the core, getting a nice shoulder hip mobility, keeping the chest nice and open. 4 more. And progression number 3, double arms and legs. So first of all, up to the ceiling. Feel that tension, squash the back. As soon as you're doing double legs, start to squash the back a little bit. Can you take it just another inch away? Find your angle so that your back is still squashed. We're challenging the abs. We're taking it to the point where I feel myself quiver. If I went too straight, as soon as I get there, my back is going to start to arch. That's too hard for me. Find the angle that you are still in control. Your ribs are down. You're not breath holding or bearing down. Good, lovely hard one to finish with. Keep that breath going, nice and strong. In together, out together. Good, test it now and again, come back up to an easier angle and then go again. Push that back down. 3 more. And 2. And release. Feet down to the floor. Arms nice and wide for a nice knee drop. Lumbar rotation. Oh, little crack in the upper back. Try and keep the palm down and get the knee down on the opposite side. Good. Release that tension through the shoulders, upper back. You can do that as many times as you wish. And let it go. Okay, take your time coming back into sitting. Well done for sticking that out. Like I say, pick your level, challenge it, warm up into it, or just stick with that level 1 or 2. But now that you know that progression, it's quite nice to see where you're aiming for. Well done. Join me again. Cheerio.